Okay, this is us about to go to the paint shop. Lone Star 40 Transformation. We changed the front end. Originally, we had this front end. It's a Mark 1 series with a double nostril nose. The grill's slightly smaller. Headlight openings were slightly smaller. We took it and we cut off this section where the gas caps were and utilized them here so that we could match up the doors to the car and the gas cap area and the windshield wiper area. And then we went ahead and utilized the center section of the new front piece we added, which, I don't know if you can tell, has a larger mouth and larger headlight area for the original headlights to fit in, and the single opening, which is original to the Le Mans race car from '69, which is what we're shooting for. The car that we're emulating is going to be the '69 car that won Le Mans at number 6. So to do that, we changing the mirrors, which are not on the car at the present, but we added the hole for the pit marker light, and we added some fender flares to it to give it a more of a wider look. Changed the wheels. We put pin drive GT40 wheels, which will get painted at the paint shop to match the Gulf orange. Changed the air cleaner. And we've got new valve covers that are in a box that match the air cleaner. Those will be painted to match the car, or accented, I should say. We opened up this area back here to see the exhaust and see the valve covers better, so that when you're standing here you can see both valve covers. When you're standing here you can see that. And then we're going to paint this area black instead of leaving it that way. And then we've got new vents that are not here yet, or they're not on the car at the present. We cut the holes here for the rear spoiler that goes on, the aluminum spoiler. It's being laser cut right now, and it's adjustable. And we did some body work here so that the original tail lights would be flush with, you know, with everything instead of facing the ground a little bit. More side shots. We haven't done anything with the interior yet. We have seats out of the car. We have those reupholstered. We've got a new piece that goes across the front end here that has the jack points like the original car had. We've got the original blinkers that'll be installed after paint. But so far, this is where we're at. A lot of work. Amazing car. Can't wait to see it after paint. Well, we're back from the paint shop with the GT40. And wow, does it look different. Unbelievable. Can't wait to get this finished. They usually don't look this good straight out of the paint shop because usually they're missing a lot more parts, but like a Cobra, but the GT40 more of a complete car because of the windshield and all that stuff on it still, but it has a long way to go. It's gonna look a lot. Okay, and the work continues. We've got parts taken off for the car, starting on the wheels, getting some proper lug nuts and things on, proper spacing. It's very windy outside today. Sounds like a tornado out there. Wow. But we've got the stuff, we got edges masked off for safety to protect the paint. We've got our pieces up here that we're going to be doing some coating underneath on. Getting that masked off. Put a lot of edge molding, a lot of lights installed, vents and screens and things. So that's where we're at right now. All right, we are putting decals on, headlights, all the fun stuff. This guy right here, he's putting in our Marcel headlights. Cat head, not so easy to find, halfway around the world. Can't remember the country it came from, but it wasn't anywhere near here. A new vent. Countersink the Allen heads, stainless. Still have some valve cover work to do. Still haven't put the seats in yet. Still haven't put the taillights on and all the back stuff, the exhaust and all that, but that's coming. Put the grill into the nose piece so that you don't see fans and things. We got the Zeus fasteners in. And that's where we're at this stage, so we will reconvene tomorrow. Alrighty, here we are, finally done. Mean looking, very, very cool. And the GT40 project is over. The car is done, at least for the most part. Of course, these things are always ongoing. You know, they're never fully done. You're always, you know, tweaking this, upgrading that, but for the most part, the car is as I'd hoped it would be. Actually, it's a lot better than I'd hoped it would be. It totally exceeded my expectations, which is really a pleasant surprise. And, you know, again, this car is replicating the GT40 that won Le Mans in 1969 in the 24-hour race. It was the last GT40 of this series to run, and so I thought, being that we're not making GT40s anymore, what a better appropriate, you know, car to replicate. So I'll go over the car now to kind of give you an overview of what we've done over these last several days to kind of, you know, finish it off, to personalize the car. But okay, up front here we've got the original cat headlamps by SEV Marshall. These are kind of hard to find, but we found those, thank God. Down here in the front, in the mouth, you're going to see an amber marker light. What that is actually an ID light for the pits, because in the Le Mans racing, there was no, you know, each manufacturer's allowed 3 cars, and so the pit crews would know which car was entering the pits. They had these different color lights on them. There was one on the front, and there was one in the back quarter panel. You see here, and they were the same color front and back, and this would ID the car. This particular light that they used back then was from the Spitfire aircraft that was a World War II plane. So I was lucky to find one of those in Europe. But let's start at the front and work our way back. We've got ourselves a custom-made grill. It's made out of plastic. It's originally designed for a Chrysler 300 that we modified and looks absolutely perfect in there. It looks very professional. We use aircraft Zeus fasteners to fix the hood piece. Now, we're missing the Lexan headlight covers at this time. We are experimenting with some Velcro. The Velcro could not withstand the heat from the radiator, so we're going to pop rivet those on. The windows are Velcroed on, which are very nice because they're on really strong. It's very hard. It takes 2 hands to peel them off. but you can take them off if you want, you know, when it's hot outside or you don't want to turn the air conditioner on or whatever, if you want to feel the wind. Okay, but we have the original wheels. These wheels were manufactured by Vintage Wheels. We've got the original spinners and all that good stuff. We've got the original front turn signal in there, and we've got the bumper mountings points, jack points for the race, for the pit team. And then this little jewel down here, this little black thing you see down here that's a front end splitter, and that is also serving as a protection piece for the front end, so that if you're, you know, going into a driveway or an incline or something like that, that it's going to scrape on this and not your paint. Because that piece is obviously something you can replace very easily, and I think it really finishes off the front of the car. It's something very similar to what the Ford GT has. So as far as the paint codes and everything goes, this is the original Gulf paint codes, and we've used several pictures of the originals and several pictures of other replicas that have duplicated this car, and choosing, you know, the pattern for the paint and the decals and everything. So a lot of thought has gone into this car, a lot more than one would normally think someone would spend investing time on such a project. But to me, this is art. This is one of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen. It is an absolute work of art on the road. Back here, you've got the 302, Ford 302 V8. And what we've done here is, originally when we you know, took possession of this car, the engine compartment area wasn't as open as this. It was cut out just enough room for the air cleaner to poke through. And I wanted to open it up so we could see the valve covers and we could see a little bit of this exhaust. And it's just really amazing how it blends in and pops at you. Oh, there we go. And then we put some edge molding around the edge here to finish it off. And we blacked it out because originally it was silver in here, because the car used to be silver. And the sunlight would reflect off of the silver and into the bottom of the rear window, making it difficult to see out of the back. So we improved that, fixed that. And then we've made our own vents back here. This is aluminum, which we had laser cut, and then we took some routing. We took a router to it and routed the edges so that it was real nice and smooth. No sharp edges. We countersink the holes, and so that the chrome Allen heads would sit in nice and flush. I think that's just a clean way to do it. I mean, it's real nice when you're wiping over the car to clean it and you don't catch on anything. It's nice. Up here, the car used to have pins here, removable pins, that you would pull to raise the hatch in the rear over the engine area. What we've decided to go with here are quick latches. These are nice. They're spring loaded. They set very low and flush to the car, as you can see. They're aesthetically pleasing and very functional and very strong. They use these on a lot of race cars. And all you have to do is just push the button and it pops open. And then we have the, let's see, gas caps. We have put new gas caps on it on both sides. The front end that we have changed over to, as you saw earlier in the video, we sectioned on a front end of another GT40 onto this one. And what's happened is we've widened the front end by about 4 or 5 inches. And that's really given the car a more aggressive, more meaner look, in my opinion. I think the car looks a lot, I don't know, yeah, it just looks a lot meaner to me. That's really the best way to describe it. And, you know, of course, when you hear it run, it's completely, you know, intimidating. But you know, by sectioning the front end like this, it wasn't as easy as just replacing the front clip, because the clip, this front end was actually designed for the big block GT40s, which was the latter ones. This car being a small block, you know, its fender wells were a little closer in, so we've kind of retrofitted the small block with the big block front end. But this section up here didn't line up very well with the old section, and the gas cap locations were different, and the wiper hole was in a different, the notch that you see there was actually over here on the other car. So what we did was we used the old section about 5 inches in, all the way around, and then down, and utilized this part from the old and this part from the new and bonded it together somewhere in here, which you can, there's absolutely no indication of where that was done. And I'm very, very pleased with the bodywork and how that came out. The fit and finish of this car is really nice. Of course, there's always a couple little areas that could be a little better, but you know, come on. For the most part, this is an unbelievably beautiful vehicle, and that's enough for me. Now back here, we don't have the rear spoiler on yet, but the rear spoiler will attach and go from about here up to about an inch above, and it's also made out of aluminum to match the rear vents, which match the top vent. And this spoiler is adjustable. It'll have slots in it so that it can be moved up and down, with a hole for this area, which is a heat release area. And let's see, the license plate I can't speak today. The license plate bracket has a little history to it. This is actually a nickel-plated, solid aluminum machined for the concept Ford GT. I was lucky enough to find one of these. It was not used by Ford, but it was contracted by Ford to be made for the concept vehicle. It's actually kind of neat. It weighs almost 1.5 pounds. So this is a very high quality license plate bracket, and I thought, well, what better car to put it on, since I can't exactly afford Ford GT. I'll just put this on my GT40. And if you'll notice right there in the middle, there's a backup camera, and which is very, very nice, because you can see everything down here. And it's also kind of neat to turn on while you're going down the road and see everybody going away from you at a very fast rate of speed. Okay, what we've done here with the exhaust is it's a ceramic coated system from header back. All the tubes are all equal in length, and we have some tips at the end to kind of finish it off, and we've taken a black ceramic coated guard to protect the the paint and everything that's wrapped around that part right there. We have some backup lights here, and then there's license plate lights, and the tail lights are original. Lucky to find those. You know, one thing about building GT40s, it's extremely difficult to find these parts. I mean, I called manufacturers of these cars and asked for some of these parts, and they said they couldn't get them. And that's all they did was make GT40s. Like steering wheels and, you know, door handles that you see here, and, you know, vents and gas caps. Simple things that you would think that you could get. Seats. And so what we did was you know, we had to make a couple compromises because we couldn't locate some of these items. I was lucky to find the headlights and the tail lights and the door handles. The gas caps, not so lucky. But we used the Cobra ones, which are almost identical, with the exception of a little bit of a dome. Instead of being completely flat like the original, I don't think anybody will really notice, and if they do, hey, it's a replica, give me a break. Come on, it's a beautiful car. Okay, we had the wheels painted to match, same paint as the rest of the car. The mirrors, these are very functional. I love them. They are actually made for the Mini Cooper. What I like about them, other than the fact that you can see behind you, is they fold up. And this is awesome when you're putting your car in the trailer. You just flip them up, drive it in, drive it out, flip them down. It's great. Okay, let me open the door here, and we'll show you some inside stuff. We'll go around here where the light is better. Okay, what we've done in here is we've taken some original, well, not original, I should say, they were with the car when we got it, so when I say original, I mean they came with the car. But there were some aluminum racing Kirky seats in here. What we did was we took the plasma torch to them, and we got rid of the bolsters on the sides of the upright section and the lower section that you'll have seen in the pictures in this video from before and after. And we've added some lower limber foam to them, had them reupholstered with this high-grade vinyl, which I thought was awesome. It really looks close to vintage leather. And of course the eyelets really, stand out and scream GT40. And it has the original 5-point harnesses. The original gauge cluster that came with the car are still here. One of the things I'm going to be doing is blacking out this dash. Right now it's not blacked out, but there's the screen for the backup camera, and the window in the back is really large. Real happy with that. Door panels are neat, padded GT40. They pop out for easy access to the inside of the door. So as far as the decals go, this was a kit that we purchased from Canada, made for this car, and they offered several different kits, decal kits for I want to say 7 or 10 GT40s, true to the car that raced. This particular one again was a 69, so we put them all in exactly the same places as we could determine that they were placed originally. We're waiting on one sticker. They only sent us 2 Firestones, so we put one on each side. There's one more going right there behind the auto lights sticker, so those should be in soon. We also flared the fender wells in the back a little bit because the big block had wider wheels, and so they had a little bit more of a flare to them to accommodate that. So we've added a little to ours to more emphasize the fender flare and give it a little more of a meaner look. When I'm really impressed with how that turned out. And we've rubber coated the underside of all of this, all the body parts like the rear deck lid, the front clip. It's all been rubber coated underneath, which you'll have seen in pictures already. But I'm going to go ahead and turn on the lights so that you can see what the rear and the front ID marker lights look like. Flip that switch there, and we see it. There it is. I'm not sure if it's going to come across as amber as it looks here, but it looks incredibly amber in person. And then up here, we've got our light. And of course, in the rain at night, middle of the night, car racing down the thing, you can know which one it is, because the other one would be either blue or red. Those are the other colors. So I guess now we need to hear this baby run. And what better way to hear it run from inside the cockpit? So I'm going to slide down in here and we'll get it cranked up. Okay, we are in the car. So if you've ever wondered what it would be like to be behind the wheel of a GT40, this is what it looks like. It's probably not exactly what you expected. A lot of gauges, a lot of switches, always fun. Not a lot of headroom, but enough. I have about 1 inch above my head, and that's enough for me to drive this car. Okay, so we're going to turn it over, get a little feel for what this baby sounds like from in the cockpit. That's awesome. Yeah, 3,000 RPM sounds pretty aggressive. You should hear it at 6. But so we got a little bit of a rumble going. I mean, you know, she's got a cam in her. We got the door open. You see a little movement here with the. Well, I'm trying to hold the camera still so she can see the door shaking, but I think I'm shaking. Okay, so. So yeah, there's the engine. Very awesome. Very angry. I love it. Okay, now let me shoehorn myself out of this thing so you can hear what it sounds like outside of the car. Okay. Okay. And my dream car is finally here. It is materialized. It was not easy, but the best things in life are worth waiting for. I guarantee you.